Okay, the video suddenly ended at the 15-minute mark. Uh, one of the costs of using a free product. Continuing on, I hope I'm picking up at the right place. The log out button, when the player clicks on that, it will send a message to the server to log that player out. And down here below, um, the login, we see um, a text field to add the login name, a text field to add the password, um, and then a login button. And then when that player clicks on that button, it takes that information and sends it to the server to log that player in. And then I'm also adding that information to the most recent player and then getting it saved. Okay. And I already spoke about that, so that's that. Okay. The social scene. This is the scene that you see when you tap on the tin can. There are some similar features here. Again, using Kombu, I automatically try to log in the user when you go to that scene. But some of the additional things that I have are the friends and the mail. Uh, so you see some of the different variables to hold the friends and the mail, um, multiple lists, so it's an array. Um, and then different social functions this time. Um, Using a lot of functions, so there's a bigger list on and enable, on disable, some event handlers, on login, on friends loaded, that loads the list. It takes that list and puts it into a text log. Um, when you add a friend, tries to detect whether there is an error or not. Haven't implemented the removed yet, but that's there, ready to go. When the mail is loaded, it takes it and puts it into the variable that you saw above, and then sending a message. It puts in a message that it was successfully sent. Um, Again, the start button tries to log in the player, uh, pulling the information from the most recent player and then applying it to these variables here and then sending a message to the server to try to get logged in. Um, let's see here. Down here are the buttons themselves. We have add a friend, list friends, remove friend, which I haven't implemented yet, and read mail and send mail. And then there's just some ways to activate the different activities up further above. The big thing here is the list friends is the actual instance where I load the contacts, and the section above is where I display them. So moving back up, let's see here. We just have a bunch of if statements here. Here's add a friend, and that's the default setting. We just have some labels there explaining what it is, and then it takes that the text information and yeah, right there, a text field, and applies that. And down here we have an add button, and the server calls it save contact. And there's different ways to save people. In this case, we are saving it as a friend. And then it gives the message whether you successfully did that or not. Okay, list friends. We have already retrieved the text log, and that it just simply prints it out. If we remove a friend, that's not yet implemented. And read mail. That's a little bit more involved here. Originally, the Kombu information had to go through a for loop. I wanted my text to be a little bit bigger, so even on smaller devices, it's easy to read. And so what I did is I took out the for loop and applied the buttons down below. And I applied a previous and a next button. And I'm still using I to go step through the different messages. But I assign the value I up here at the very beginning, right there, and reset it anytime they click on or tap on the check mails. And I just commented out that the for loop. What I'm basically doing is I'm presenting a delete button with each message, and if they want to delete that message, they can do that. And we call the server and say, hey, delete this mail ID. It picked up a particular ID number from the server, and it sends that back to it and say, hey, delete that. We also have, with a particular message, the username of who sent it, as well as the date that they sent. And then I'm just changing the colors of the different sections. The username and date is green. The subject is cyan, and then the message itself is white. And I just list that. And further down here, I give the next and previous buttons, and all it does is it checks to make sure that it fits within the bounds of the index for the array, and make sure it doesn't go over or under the number, and it just simply increments and decrements the I, and then it'll display whatever message that you want. Further on down, sending a mail message, we have a number of text fields, the username, the subject, the message, and then we're presented with a send button, and it just grabs that information that was sent, the mail to, mail subject, mail message, and sends that to the server. And the server will also respond with error messages if the username wasn't correct and so forth. And it will pick up that mail error message, and here it will display that information. And I think that's that for the script. Let me go and show the server side of it. I got this loaded. We go over here to the server. I'm using HostGator, and what I did is just go in and sign in, and there's all these different tools, and just go to the correct tool, my admin, and I previously loaded Kombu's files up here. I don't use all these, but they were provided by the company. I'll show a few of that I am using. I'm using the account, and here are the different accounts that I have created. We see Timbo123, and we see some of the, the IP address and the last login and so forth. And if we come over here, we can see, well, first off, notice that there's an ID here. And when we go to look at the friends, we see kind of a grid of the ID numbers. So this is how the server keeps track of who has who for a friend, and it just links the ID number of the account with the friend. And so, for example, user 31 is friends with number 1. Number 1 is player 01, and I believe Timbo is 31. So we'll take a look at that. And then over here is the mail, and then we can look at that. We can actually see the messages themselves. We see each mail message has an ID number. So if we want to get it deleted, that ID number is sent. And I'm sure as the game goes on, and it'll get much higher. Um, See who it's sent, who it's belongs to, and so forth, and then the subject. And during my demonstration, I sent a simple message called hi, hi, and you see that message right there. All right, thanks.